Pixar has always been known as one of the best franchises when it comes to the film industry, delivering meaningful characters and brilliant stories. As a huge fan of Disney myself, I wanted to put together a list ranking every single Pixar film from the first Toy Story to Luca in terms of which ones were the most entertaining or had the most meaning to me. Keep in mind that the ranking is solely based on my personal opinion, and any other order from any other person is okay in regards to which order someone else decides. But I am curious as to which movies you guys would rank these movies and why. Now I will be going in reverse order here just to build up to that number one spot. So coming in at last place would be Cars 2. Now don't get me wrong, the Cars franchise was great, minus the second one. Having a setting in Japan and the plot just being everywhere made the story too out of place for me, thus making me set it in last place. Nothing wrong with Japan, of course, love their culture and their people, but the major difference between Cars 1 and 2, it was just too much of a change and threw me off.
Wish me luck.
You go get it, buddy.
Welcome to the inaugural running of the World Grand Prix.
They're racing to save the world.
No one can stop us.
As you can probably guess, coming at 23rd is Cars 3. The sequels to Cars just wasn't as good as the original movie. It's almost like that saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Meaning if everyone loves it the first time, don't recreate it. Leave it the way it was.
You know what I'd do?
What?
I don't know. I got nothing.
The beach ate me.
For the place of 22nd, 21st, and 20, tied together is Onward, Soul, and Luca. Now I know you're confused as to why I've connected these three together, so let me explain. These three films have something in common. One who's inspired me to become a writer, is John Lasseter. Now some people don't know this, so I will give a little summary. In late 2017, Lasseter was caught up in some controversy. If you'd like to know what it was, rather go ahead and do a little research, as I don't want to bore you with all the details. Point is, it caused him to leave his chair in the studio, figuratively speaking. Due to this, he wasn't credited in these films, obviously because he had left the office. From just how much of an inspiration he was to me, his name not being tied to further projects made me just not interested in viewing any more films from that point. Taking spot number 19 is Brave. Brave was a really interesting story to me, being counted as a Disney princess yet at the same time still in the Pixar franchise. The one thing I love that Pixar does is introduce us to other cultures so kids can learn more about the world through their favorite movies.
Where are you, you little rascal? I'm coming to get you. Where is my little bursty girl? I'm going to gobble her up when I find her. I'm going to eat you.
Toy Story 2 comes in at number 18. The Toy Story franchise is possibly the most noted one in Pixar, as they have 4 films spanning from 1995 to 2019. I love this movie greatly, as it is the first film to introduce Barbie. However, I didn't think it was as good as the first film.
Excuse me, ladies. Does anyone know where we might find the Owl of Al's Toy Barn?
I can help. I'm tour guide Barbie.
Turning to A Bug's Life at 17th place, this movie doesn't really have a whole lot of spotlight on it, meaning I haven't heard many people say it's in their top 10 of movies they like to watch, so it's not too far down the list, but it's not a very popular movie. However, the storyline of A Bug's Life is one for the books.
Okay, Blitz, time to put you down now. Get him off me. He's cutting off the circulation to my foot.
Please don't go.
Put the stick down. Like I made it now. Drop the stick. Drop it.
Run!
Boy, he runs fast for a little guy.
Moving on to the one that built Pixar from the very beginning, and that would be the original Toy Story.
The story of 2 toys.
There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
You are a child's plaything.
You are a sad, strange little man.
This one takes spot number 16 because of course it was the start of Pixar. However, there were other movies that caught my eye, more so like the first Cars movie. Like I said before, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
I'm a precision instrument for speed and aerodynamics.
You hurt your what?
I know his type. Race car.
I don't mean to be rude here, but you probably go 0 to 60 in like, what, 3.5 years?
At number 14 is Toy Story 3. One of the reasons Toy Story 3 resonated so strongly with this original audience was because, much like Andy and his toys, they were leaving the familiar behind and heading into exciting yet unknown territory. It had a very different outlook to it, but not like Cars did, having a drastic change from the second movie to the third. Having the setting at a daycare, it created a challenging outlook for the toys in trying to figure out how to get back to Andy, or otherwise how to escape the jail-like daycare.
It's a mirror
circle. And you wanted us to stay at Andy's.
Because we're Andy's toys.
So you got donated by this Andy, huh? Well, it's his loss, Sheriff. He can't hurt you no more.
Whoa.
Now
no,
let's
no.
get you all settled in.
At number 13, we have Coco. Again, this is one of those movies that is able to introduce and explain the importance of family in another language. The language is English, yes, but in speaking of the Mexican culture and its focus being on, quote, the Book of Life or Dia de Muertos. Coco's rich visual pleasures are matched by a thoughtful narrative that takes a family-friendly and deeply affecting approach to questions of culture, family, life, and death. This is one of the things I love about Pixar in general, is how they can reach a large audience with great stories each and every time they release a movie.
Oh! Miguel, I give you my blessing. To go home, to put up our photos. You're going home.
Moving on to number 12, we have the best of the Toy Story franchise, Toy Story 4. This was one of the best because of the storyline between Bo and Woody, reuniting and finally coming together with Woody starting a life with just the two of them. Driving closer to the top 10, coming in at 11th place is the first Incredibles movie. Now with the first one, it is a very popular movie among Pixar because of it portraying a family with all these kinds of superpowers, so it reads as another superhero movie, which is a very liked genre of movies. However, this is a family-friendly animated style of it to where it's not full of too much PG-13 graphics or any kind of foul language. It is an action-packed movie that is for the entire family. Enough action for the older adults to be entertaining, but not too much that it's too much for the children to be too scary. Taking 10th place, as you probably assumed, is the second Incredibles movie. This one was not only better because of the increase in computer graphics and the clarity of the colors and whatnot, but the best part of this film was the broader range of Violet's abilities with her powers. Unlike what we saw Violet do with her powers in the first film, we see her use them as an attack instead of just a defense mechanism. Overall, we do get more background on the family's powers as well as Jack-Jack's. In 9th place is Finding Dory. Now I don't want to say this is the same as Cars with Don't Make a Sequel. Of course this movie was incredible and we get to see Dory's background as she was very much loved from Finding Nemo.
I suffer from short-term memory loss.
Yes! That's exactly what you say.
This next one kind of stands out as much as the rest, but it was still an incredible story nonetheless, and that would be The Good Dinosaur. The story answers the question, what would have happened if the dinosaurs didn't get wiped off the planet? Getting closer to the top 3, at 7th place is the one and only Wally, a beloved character, loved by all and very popular as well, being most known for his personality and curiosity. It's great that the animators were able to depict such realness to a character that didn't have that much of an ability to talk, but was able to show his feelings through his actions when we saw him care for Eve. Getting to number 6, I decided to place Monsters University in this spot as the sequel just isn't as good as the first. Monsters University is technically set as a prequel as the original was meant to not be continued.
Kitty!
At number 5, as you can probably guess, is Monsters, Inc., one of the classics. One of the reasons I was so fascinated with this one was others would be too. It is the world the story was created around, a world of monsters living lives similar to how humans would, getting up in the morning and going to work in a place that many people depend on your services, except with a twist.
Ooh, okay, Sully, hop on in.
Nope.
Hey, where you going?
Mikey,
what are you
there's
doing?
a scream shortage. We're walking.
Walking?
Yep.
No, hey, no, my baby, look, she needs to be driven. My baby, I'll call you.
Moving up onto our list, in 4th place is Inside Out. This one isn't per se one of Pixar's classics as it came out in 2015, but it is a very special movie as it introduced the minds of children from the inside and gave a layout that a child would at least somewhat understand through bright colors and the atmosphere of making characters that were designed as singular emotions. That alone seems very much hard to create a story out of and lay it out to where people would understand what's happening, but with Pixar's movie magic, of course they were able to pull it off no problem.
So, how was the first day of school?
It was fine, I guess. I don't know.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong. We're gonna find out what's happening, but we'll need support. Signal the husband.
Coming in at the top 3 in 3rd place is Finding Nemo. Since I was little, I've always been so fascinated with this movie. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I could watch this movie a million times and still not get tired of it. The storyline, characters, and setting just all tied together so perfectly. I always got a kick out of it whenever I watched it. In 2nd place is possibly the best film created by Pixar in most people's eyes is Up. Just for the beginning montage alone tells a story within itself, and I think that's what attracted most of its audience, with some even comparing that montage to the Twilight series, saying Pixar created a better love story in 5 minutes, better than the entire Twilight series. The dedication that Carl has for keeping his promise to Ellie and getting the house on top of that mountain, he had a goal and the audience rooted for him the entire way. And coming in at the top spot at number 1 is Ratatouille. This one I truly believe is the most underrated movie in almost all of Disney. What I love most about this movie is the irony of the film. Of course, we all know that rats do not belong in the kitchen, but somehow that's where Remy wants to be more than anything. Not only in the kitchen, but touching the food and preparing meals for others to eat. Of course, this is a cartoon, but it still blows my mind about the storyline. The message that this entails, though, is great, as it says anyone can cook, but if you believe in yourself enough, coming from anywhere, even the bottom of the barrel like Linguini was when he came in as a busboy, and you can accomplish your dreams. So that wraps up the list for my favorite Pixar films, and again, these are all based on my personal opinions, but I am curious as to which ones did you like the most and the least, and why? Let us know in the comments down below which movies would be in your top 3. And if you like these kinds of videos, we do cover a lot of Pixar related news and facts, so if you're interested in seeing more, go ahead and subscribe for more.